What up, people? It has been a interesting week, to say the least. I didn't even really want to make this video because I don't really like, speaking on certain things, and just like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to make this video, but I just felt that I really wanted to, kind of wanted to talk from the heart of just like everything that's been going on, kind of how Nipsey played a role and taught me through his music and through his documentaries and his interviews, and why his message resonated with me so much. And I just wanted to make this video to just kind of show love and honor his legacy, honor what he put out, honor the message and the impact that he had in his community. And I think it's really hard processing a lot of this. Coming from a community, I grew up in Richmond, California. You're surrounded by a lot of negativity. A lot of people that end up dying to some sort of violence. End up just you're surrounded by that a lot, and so you kind of get desensitized to it. I was talking to a close friend of mine that I grew up, childhood friend, and we were just talking about how it's just crazy how you get desensitized to violence, because it happens so much, and it just starts to become another thing. And I think this has shown people that haven't come from communities like that or been surrounded by that this stuff is real. This stuff goes on all the time, in these areas, in these communities, and it's just tragic, man. It's just like it really is just, it's just hard to even process this whole thing, just because of what Nip was doing, man. Like, if any of you guys know and have followed him, in the last couple years or throughout his entire journey, kind of the evolution of where his mindset was and the energy that he put out. It was always about uplifting the community. It was always about positivity. It was always about coming from a situation, an unfortunate situation, or a situation that has circumstances that are out of our control, but making the best out of what we have, and always kind of like paying it forward. He talked about ownership. He talked about entrepreneurship. He talked about power. He talked about power in these communities and being misunderstood. And his message just resonates with me on just a different level. When I started my business in 2005 in high school, I grew up in Richmond, surrounded by all of this negativity and surrounded by this just a constant wave of violence. Lost a lot of close people to me to violence, and it was hard to like remain positive and remain in your bubble as you're trying to spread the positivity, as you're trying to build, as you're trying to do certain things. And I just remember I always kind of push the message of our brand of doing everything different and trying to just not necessarily, just trying to like take game of what I've learned and trying to pay it forward, right? Because I feel that if God, the universe, whatever you believe in, puts you through something, right, and feels that you're strong enough to go through a certain situation, that it's your responsibility to pay it forward. And I think that's just like Nipsey did like a great job of that, man. Like, just to see the evolution of where he started and kind of being able to come full circle and be able to just do the things that he's done, has just been incredible. And my thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family, and the people closest to him that's going to be affected, his kids, his girl, like his family, his brother, his pops, like all this stuff. I just can't, I don't know. And I know I'm kind of rambling, but I really wanted to put this video out. This is not about views. This is not about anything like that. It's not about trying to be a part of the hype. I see a lot of people post about it that had no idea who Nipsey is, and they act like they were the biggest fans and stuff like that. This is not, one of those videos for attention. I just, Victory Lap especially, his earlier projects were dope, and I really liked them, but Victory Lap especially, it's the day that it came out. I literally had that album on repeat. My brother, my girl, everybody's like laughing at me because I constantly have had that album on loop this literally entire year. And it's just because of the message, right? It's just, it just resonates with me so much about just, you know, not stopping, starting in the garage. Like literally that's where we started, and working. And that's how you go from there to where you want to get to, and just the accomplishment of goals. And so, you know, it was this last, I haven't put out like a lot of content in the last few weeks because I've been so focused on like our business, right? We have a ton of growth this year in our agency. We have a lot of contracts that we're working on. We have a lot of stuff that we're doing. So I've just kind of been head down, focused on that, working with my team, building this. But, and it's funny, before all this stuff happened, I kind of was like wanting to take a step back from content and putting out videos, just because I'm like, you know, you feel at a certain point where you're like, what is my story or what is my message gonna mean to somebody, right? Like, you know, like you're nobody, right? It's like those voices in our heads of like that stop us from wanting to do stuff. But as I was just looking through the comments, and as I was just reflecting on the message that, you know, like Nipsey constantly put out, and how much it affected me, and how much it kept me motivated to keep going and wanting to do things. And, you know, I was just thinking, like, if that can do a fraction, a 0.5% of what Nip's message did for me, and if I could pay that forward to somebody else and be a 0.5% of what that was, that feeling, I just think it's worth it. So I just want to start putting out just more content, more real content about just kind of the things that I've been going through, to hopefully help you guys. Hopefully, you know, you could take stuff from my story about just business, about life, of just things that I've learned, and just kind of putting it out there, right? And hopefully it could be something for somebody, and somebody could benefit from it. Because at the end of the day, you know, I was thinking about it, and, you know, his life was taken at 33, but all the content that he put out, all the messages, all the songs, all the videos, that stuff will forever be here. And that's the thing that's gonna like resonate with people. And so it's just like, at the end of the day, all you have is your legacy of what you put out, right? Like, we all have our time where we won't be here at a certain point. And so it's just a matter of what we do while we're here. And so I just want to commit more to talking about my journey, you know, sharing stuff that coming from where we came from, coming from the situation, and how we were able to build up the mindset that we developed, and the endurance, right? That's why I love his whole concept of the marathon, right? It's not a sprint. It's something that lasts. It's something that is over time. It's a long distance journey. It's not an overnight thing. So if you guys are working on your vision, chances are, if you're subscribed to this channel, you want to build your own thing, whether you're building it now currently and you're having struggles, or you want to get started and you don't know where. We don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time on this earth. You know, I was doing the math, right? So if you live until 80 years old, and you divide that by how many days it is from when you're born to 80 years old, it's like 29,000 and something days. Like, that's it. Like, from when you're a baby and born to when you pass away, if you're lucky enough to make it all the way to 80, 29,000 days. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, we have no time to waste. And honestly, it's weird, because sometimes you have to go through traumatic things and situations in order to kind of push you forward, right? For those of you that really know my story and know how close me and my grandfather were, he was, you know, one of the closest people to me on this earth. Like, he's literally one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing now, is because he set a good example, and he just helped me so much. And he ended up like passing away in my arms and having a heart attack. And the house that we stayed at, where I started my first business, that he let me set up in his house, unexpected. Like, I was talking to him, and 5 minutes later, he ended up having a heart attack and passing away in my arms. And it woke something up in me. I think I was 21 at the time, and it changed me. I feel that it matured me like 10 years. And it went to show me how short of a time frame we have on this earth, and how it's like, you can't waste any of this time. And so, you know, I didn't know Nip at all. You know, I didn't know him, and I'm not comparing that to my grandfather. That was a whole different, you know, relationship. But just being from afar, his message really impacted me, like for real, for real. And it just goes to show that you just have we have a quick time on this earth, and we got to make the best of it. So again, I'm you know, I know I'm rambling, but I want to thank all of you guys for all the love and the support and the comments. I hope I hope this content is helping. It's been something that has been kind of a passion project of mine, and kind of you go through the ebbs and flows of the ups and downs of like, oh, I want to do it, I want to put out content, and then you go through the time where you're like, is my message really like resonating with people and helping people? Like, what is that, you know, what does that look like? And I think you know, I just want to put it out, and regardless of whatever happens, I'm not looking for anything for this, right? I'm not trying to get anything from this. I just purely want to talk about my story, document my stuff. I don't want to tell people what to do. I just want to share what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and hopefully you guys can benefit from it. So thank you so much for watching. I want to do something for all of you though, for all of those that are watching that are familiar with Nipsey, that love Nipsey's music. What is your favorite line from any of his songs? Drop it in the comments below. I want to hear and read through all of those. There's so many that I have, but I'm gonna pin my favorite one in the comments, and I want to read through them all. So go ahead and drop your favorite line that Nipsey wrote. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there and keep everything moving. Peace.